So what's happening at the polling stations? Our correspondent Sarah Shalala joins us from a polling station right here in Tel Aviv. So Sarah, what is the atmosphere like this morning? Are people actually turning up to vote? You know, we've been hearing a lot of concerns about voter apathy.
Good morning, Natasha. Of course, as you just mentioned, voter apathy, a bit of disillusionment, detachment in the air. I was speaking to a couple of voters earlier. And as you can see behind me, I wouldn't say there's hundreds of people showing up this morning. I know it's still quite early and possibly people would be rushing in a little bit later in the day, the afternoon, the evening. I mean, polls opened, the polling booths, there's about 12,000 of them around the country. They did open at 7 a.m. this morning. Maybe people were still fast asleep and enjoying their day off as well and saying they'd head back out a little bit later. They will be closed at 10 o'clock tonight, though. Now, this is Israel's fifth attempt at forming a stable government in under 4 years. Natasha, it's an all too familiar prospect of political deadlock. The last few weeks, of course, political parties and their factions, we did see them come out. They went through the motions, campaigning, sloganeering, branding exercises, and now we're here today where voters are showing up. But, of course, their efforts somehow seem to be putting a new spin on the very same questions that voters have been confronted with for years now, which is the question of should or should they not bring former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu back in office again. That's one of the main questions. Of course, a lot of voters don't agree with this. I had a voter come up to me a little bit earlier and say, I don't agree with this. Why is it that every news article in town talks about Netanyahu? Why aren't we focusing on the main agenda, the policies, what people care about, what Israelis really want to vote for, who they're voting for, talk about the parties and the things that really matter? Why is Netanyahu being the center of attention here? And now, of course, Israeli voters, they are being confronted with bigger issues, broader issues that they've been confronted with for years. For example, the cost of living crisis, the soaring prices of goods and services, security being a top issue as well. And, of course, you've got your other constituencies with their other specific concerns as well.
All right, Sarah, thanks for joining us from Tel Aviv.